Hello everyone, good afternoon. My name is ZOB, your number one partner in maximizing your children's potentials. And today, without much ado, we are going to be talking about four factors. Four factors, four factors you need to consider in designing an empowering environment for your little ones. Now, this is so crucial because once an environment is empowering, it's going to create empowered children. Once an environment is empowering, it's going to create empowered children. So, the very first factor I'm going to talk about is that in your environment, when you're dealing with very little ones, okay, you need space. So your children need space and not furniture. Your children need space and not furniture. They need more of space because they need to move. They need space to run. They need space to crawl. They need space to run. They need space to climb. In fact, what happens to the furniture is that the furniture even aids them to begin to climb the more and hang on your TV, So you want to make sure that these children have enough space. So what I always recommend is that instead of having gigantic chairs, you want to have chairs that not so big. Instead of having maybe seven seaters, you want to think about five or even three. It depends on where you are. But if you're just starting out, honestly, you don't need more of chairs and more of furniture. You need more of space with your little ones. It will save you the headache of screaming and yelling. When I deal with parents, I always tell them, instead of fixing your child, you want to fix the problem. And in this case, the problem is the environment. If your environment is not empowering, you will not have empowered children. Okay, so your children will keep on giving you a lot of, you will keep on shouting and talking, and meanwhile, the environment is the problem. Okay? So the second thing you want to consider is you want to consider safety. Another factor to consider is safety. Okay, we have talked about space and now we're talking safety. Your children need to have the freedom to explore the environment. Okay, Maria Montessori says that play is the work of a child. So children need to play, but the environment needs to be safe. So when the environment is safe and your child is playing, you won't have to bother. So when you don't have sharp objects, you don't have glass all and littered around, maybe glass tables and all of that, you put a center table that is glass, and you find out that this child wants to stand around that kind of table, you will be afraid. You will tell the child, you will try to remove the child from that, because the child might get injured. He might hit himself or herself on that table. Okay, so you want to check out for safety. You want to check out what kind of bathrooms do you have. If you have the normal bathtub, you want to think about non-slip mats in there. You want to think about non-slip mats in there so that the children don't sleep. Can you see that there are so many things that make us scream and yell as parents that does not have anything to do with the child? Okay, so you want to check the edges of your house. You want to check electrical. If the electrical outlets exposed, you don't want your little one putting their fingers right into those holes. You want to check it out. You want to check for covers to cover them. Or you want to better still make sure that those sockets are up, out of reach. You want to make sure that their medicines are out of reach. All those things must be factored. You find out that when those things are factored, they're taken care of, you will not worry yourself. All right, another thing you must consider is a learning space. You want to have learning spaces in your child's in your home. Okay, in creating an atmosphere, in creating an empowering um, learning environment at home. It's a course that I recently, we are starting off in at the end of May, on May 30th, okay, which I advise you are part of. Now, in that course, we talk deeper about these learning spaces. So we talked about how every part of your house can be a learning space for your child. How your kitchen can be a learning space, how their rooms can be a learning space, how the bedrooms can be a learning space, how the sitting room can be a learning space, how the car can be a learning space, how everywhere can be a learning space for your children, because your children are constantly learning, whether you like it or not. Okay, they are constantly learning, and they might just be learning things you don't want them to learn. So you have to create the space in such a way that they are learning what you want them to learn. Okay, so you have to have learning spaces that empower these children, because like in the course, I also talk about how children can learn and have fun without knowing. So I tell people so many times that, do you know that the ABC my children learn, their sounds and all of that, I never sat down, their writing, I never sat down in a chair to teach them. But we learned this thing on the go because the environment was so empowering. Okay, so you don't need to suffer those children doing several drills, writing, copying, you don't have to. If you have an empowering environment, and even if the children go to school, you can consolidate with an empowering environment at home. Very crucial. So you want to check on around for somewhere to sign up for that course. Very important, because our early bird ends on the 27th of May, Children's Day. Yeah, it ends on that date, so please check it out. The fourth factor to think about in designing an empowering environment at home is independence. Your children at this stage of their life, from 0 to 4, they fight to do things themselves, and this is always what causes a lot of tantrums, and parents don't understand, because your environment is not empowering. Your children want to do stuff themselves. They don't want you to help them. They want to do things themselves. That's the stage of development they are in. So the best thing for you to do is begin to make the environment in such a way that they can go and reach out for these things themselves. Because sometimes you don't just want to stand up, you don't just want to do anything at that time, you just want to rest. So if it's something your child can gravitate towards, something they can take for themselves, something they can help themselves with, why not? If not, okay? So things like shelves are very important. At this point, having shelves, having the toys arranged, their books arranged, having their clothing arranged, their shoes arranged, and the children can gravitate towards this thing easily without you having to be there. Okay, so very important. Let them have child-sized chairs and tables that they can easily reach out for without you being there. Okay, so if you really did enjoy this, you want more, sign up for our course. It's just 9,999 naira. Okay, so you want to check somewhere around for a link to sign up. All right, so till I come to you next Monday, bye.